I I have the camera a little bit closer because I'm trying to keep it quiet. It's almost 2 in the morning, and I'm not sure if my roommates are asleep yet. Probably still awake, but I don't want to wake them. I know the people right next door are still awake because I can hear them over there. Well, some of them are. I don't know if all of them are either. I know some people. I know all the people next door, and some of them go to bed earlier than others. So I kind of want to keep this quiet because I know people got to get up earlier tomorrow, earlier than me, certainly. I still have to get up, but I only have 2 classes, and I can just take a nap after, after noon. I get back 12, 12:30, and then I can just go to bed. Other people don't have that kind of time, so I'm just gonna kind of keep it, you know, on the down low, quiet. I want to talk about the hypocrisy of the left and why they don't care about it and why it is a terrible argument to use. This is very informal. I didn't write anything down. I don't have any points really prepared except, except that they're hypocritical and they don't care. And I don't really need to have any points prepared because this is a very simple concept, and I've thought about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot, and there's no preparation needed. It's a very simple concept, and the thing about this is the concept is. Let me stop fumbling over myself here for a second and just go with what I'm saying and not keep tweaking it. The concept of it is that the left is always progressing. Now, if you're always progressing and you're always going further left, it doesn't matter if you contradict yourself along the way, because it's all about the end goal and the end purpose. When you believe in something like that, that's what you'll do. That's why Nike put out that ad, believe in something even if it means losing everything. They actually mean it. That's the shocking thing. Maybe not Nike, but the left. They know who they're playing to. They're playing to their base. They know that black people per capita buy more Nike shoes than white people. I heard some black guy recently like, oh yeah, the guy broke his ankle because his cheap ass Nike shoe broke. And it was a black kid. And it was funny because it's like, yeah, but you're wearing Nikes. It's just got a different logo, and that logo is Jordan. Jordan's owned by Nike. Air Jordans have been owned by Nike since 1990s, possibly before. Like, I think they've always owned them. I don't know the whole history. I don't know if they released Jordan or if they bought them out. I think Nike released Jordan. The point is that they own them. They know that they're going to sell shoes. Now, it's obviously hurting them more than they thought because what they don't realize is it's not 1995 anymore. White people are buying those type of shoes now too. Call it cultural appropriation, call it what you want. But the truth is that the cultures have mixed a lot since then. And it's not so divided anymore. And by the way, aren't we culturally appropriating Asian culture because they're the ones who make the shoes? Yeah. That's a topic for another time. hypocrisy does not matter to them. If you're to tell Cortez, hey, you live in Washington and you're rich, but yet you lecture us on socialism, don't you think there's something wrong with that? She'll be like, well, yeah, but what I'm doing with my money is like helping the poor. It's like, well, are you giving it away? Yeah, with my service. You can't argue with someone like that. I think they even confronted her on it. And she's like, what I do with my money is actually help my community. And I actually can't, like, she lies about being from the Bronx. I'm just a girl from Bronx, yo. Well, first of all, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You lived in a high-rise apartment in the Bronx. Not the greatest neighborhood, not the greatest apartment, but you certainly lived there. Your father was rich, and I believe did real estate or something like that, or was an insurance broker. I don't know. Went to, Boston University. Made that's a $70,000 education a year. Now you're making at least $140K a year. You've never been poor. You know who has been poor? Me. But I'm white, so I don't count. You say, here's another issue: white privilege. What if I were to go talk to these people and be like, hey, I hear you guys talk about white privilege a lot, but I was raised relatively poor for half my childhood. The latter half, I was homeless twice, and I've lived in a car before, and a shelter, and an extended stay. I had to stay with my grandparents for quite some time. By the way, this is actually my life story that I'm using as an example. Yeah, but do you get pulled over by the cops? I don't have a car. I'm too poor to get a car. Well, but you don't get pulled over by the cops. So therefore you still have you see, like, it doesn't matter what you point out, they're always just gonna divert attention elsewhere. Yeah, but you were born in a majority white nation. And you go, yeah, but what about affirmative action? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you bring up. What about affirmative action? Well, what about environmental racism? Then they bring up environmental racism. And at this point, if you're on the right and you're still arguing, well, what about what you said earlier? That doesn't make sense. What about Democrats supporting it? What about all this whataboutism? It's not doing you any good. You're wasting your time. So stop. It's time to grow up, put on your big boy pants, and fight. Gloves off. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be a provocateur. You can be, and there's a place for those people. People like Milo and Owen Benjamin and Gavin McInnes. Even the fringe, like Alex Jones. We're all on the same side here, guys. So let's start acting like it. But at the same time, let's hold each other accountable and let's stop being wusses about it. That's an issue I'm starting to have with the Daily Wire people, and not just Ben Shapiro. I know people love to attack Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro is very sarcastic, and Ben Shapiro doesn't believe in any conspiracies ever, which is a mistake. And it's like, yeah, but aren't you guys gonna at least look further into this? It's starting to get to the point where like it's just the same stuff. I love Clavin, I love Knowles, I love Walsh, I love Shapiro, but I can't watch them like I used to. I'm still subscribed to their channel. I still watch some of their clips here and there, but I can't watch a full show anymore because it's pulling punches, or at the very least blocking them, or I mean at the very most blocking them. There's no punch back. When are we going to learn? You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be shrill. But you got to stop being... You got to actually have an interest in the other people on the right. You can't be like, Alex Jones was an idiot. Yeah, but why? Why is he an idiot? And that's the problem. They keep playing the hypocrisy game. Well, can you believe how hypocritical? These guys are hypocritical, and that's bad. And yeah, we know that they don't care that they're hypocritical. We even acknowledge it on our shows, but we're going to keep pointing it out, and we're going to keep being sarcastic. And by the way, I'm not just attacking Daily Wire people. It happens all over the right. You know, it happens at any of these networks. Blaze TV. I'm sure it happens on InfoWars sometimes even. Not nearly as common. I'm not talking about rare occurrences. I'm talking about... This happens very often. You know, you got people like Tucker Carlson who are attacking libertarians, what he considers libertarians, which aren't even libertarians. People who are... for economic freedom, but at the same time are hypocritical because they like government corporation. But clearly he's full of crap and he doesn't know what he's talking about on that. And I'll maybe get into that another time. But there's no time. We don't have time for that anymore. We gotta stop going around and cutting each other's heads off. And that doesn't mean not hold each other accountable. Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones need to go and shake hands. I know they hate each other, but you guys are on the same team. And if you can't see that, then don't bother. Don't bother. Don't bother having a show. You know what, Ben? Don't bother having a show. You know what, Alex? Don't bother having a show. And just walk away. By the way, Ben is a little bit more guilty than Alex on this one. Just saying. Just saying. He's a little bit more of a douche when it comes to this one. Comes to this stupid feud. It's petty garbage. Oh, Alex, and if you wonder why I'm talking about Alex Jones, it's because I just watched an hour of the 4 hour and 40 minute long live stream between Joe the Toe Rogan. Let me know in the comment section what YouTube channel that came from. Joe the Toe Rogan, who made that famous. Not the specific person who originally came up with it, but the YouTuber. I mentioned this YouTuber earlier in this video. But yeah, Joe the Toe Rogan, which by the way, it's a meme. It's everywhere now. And Alex Jones, and they're having it. Obviously, they had a disagreement, and they're figuring stuff out. And AJ and Joe the Toe were talking about all this crazy conspiracy stuff. And look, if you think Alex Jones is an actor and he's a fraud, by now, if you still think that by now, you gotta open your eyes, man. Look, the guy is crazy. He's a walking hyperbole, but it's 100% real. I don't know what to tell you, man. I think he exaggerates some of the time, but it's obvious because it's kind of like bad sketch comedy, you know? When he's real, he's the guy you see all the time that like flips out and says like he's talking about like government facilities and humanoid stuff. It's like, dude. And what everything he mentioned had an element of truth to it. That's the thing. Everything he mentioned had an element of truth to it. Everything he mentioned, there are actually like pig valves that people use for heart surgery and stuff like that. Like, I really suggest you go watch it. It is fascinating. I had to stop after about an hour because I don't want to be up all night. But it is, and I stopped just to gather my thoughts on it. I was gonna go back into it. I mean, it's really, really, it is the most. Usually, I can't get through more than 40 minutes if I'm lucky. I can't get through more than like 20 minutes of Joe Rogan. That's why I'll watch like the clips. Because I can't get through more than that without tapping out. It's so boring. But this guy, he's a good guy. He clearly wants what's best for the people. And he's clearly uncovered some stuff. But he's putting his trust in some of the wrong people. Like, there's people on these websites, man. They'll make up the government's saying it. Well, yeah, because they want you to take the bait. Bruh, they want you to. Sure, they'll pump out fake tapes if they have to. They want to keep a certain percentage of the country like always like they're making aliens. They literally talked about like making aliens basically, not like aliens from space. Although maybe there's like they were talking about dimensional. I mean, Joe Rogan's actually a pretty crazy guy too. I mean, he does DMT, so. I know this seems a little bit off topic, but the point is that he's not a bad guy. Ben Shapiro sees him as a bad guy, and he sees Ben as a bad guy. And if you have that view, how can you get together? And that's the problem with the right, is we're so divided. By the way, you got some people on the other extreme who are like, yeah, we need to, get on everyone's side. And everyone who's not on the far left, wrong. People in the center, not all of them, but a lot of them are not on your side. Sorry, but Dave Rubin is a limp biscuit. People like that do not care. They're not. At one point, Dave Rubin might have been okay. Right now, no. Jordan Peterson is full of crap. And it depends on what you mean by what you mean. Like, literally can't answer a straight question. Someone asked him about, how come there's a lot of Jewish influence in media, which is a fair question, right? And he picked apart Jordan Peterson's argument. He's like, yeah, you got to question things that you're uncomfortable with, all these things. And he asked Jordan, are you willing to do it? And Jordan's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't. The guy's like, okay, prove my point. The guy wasn't a bigot. He wasn't like the Jews. But he was just trying to point out that, hey, this ethnicity is more prone to doing certain things. Usually they're not religious. Usually it's atheistic Jews, right? And if you just point out that, yeah, there are a lot of Jewish people in media and in Hollywood in certain positions of power. However, that doesn't mean that all Jews are bad. That doesn't even mean that most of them are. It's a really, really, really tiny percentage. It's just like most gun violence is committed by black people, right? that doesn't mean that all black people are bad, right? And it doesn't mean that even most of them are doing that. It's a very, very small percentage. 52% of homicides are committed by black people. That's bad. However, I know some great black people. You know, one of my friends up here is a just very talented music major who knows how to mix music and stuff. Is really good at it. Who's black. So I'm not gonna reveal the name, but that's not good enough. You know, that's not what he was pointing out, though. He was pointing out that, hey, maybe we need to just be honest about this. You know, we're honest about black on black crime. We're honest about you know, illegal immigration. Who tends to be illegal immigrants? Hispanics. Unfortunately, you know, no one wants to point that out, but you kind of have to sometimes. It makes it easier to identify who's illegal. Narrows it down. You know, Asians and driving. And yes, a lot of this does end up becoming stereotypes. A lot of this ends up becoming bad. The reason we point these things out is because we're questioning and we're trying to identify the monsters. And that's what the right should be united on. And tying this back into my original point, I ended up making this a lot longer than I wanted to. The left is hypocritical because they are the monsters. Let's stop. Let's stop saying, "Oh, I don't think these politicians are evil." You know, maybe like Hillary and like Pelosi, but most of them are just misled. Yeah, they're just misled. They're so stupid. They couldn't possibly understand this, right? Guys, they're working in their own interests. They're selfish. They're evil. There's no separate agenda here. In this case, it really is what it is. Whether it's Kamala Harris, whether it's Cory Booker, whether it's Eric Holder, the guy who actually sounds like the white guy voice of black comedians. And yes, I did steal that from Steven Crowder. At least I admit when I steal a joke. Unlike Amy Schumer. So, my basic point is that let's stop focusing so much on the hypocrisy of the left and focus on the real problems. The Federal Reserve, foreign wars, abortion. My biggest issue. Bigger than the foreign wars. Bigger than all of that. By the way, foreign wars are still up there. Because it's death. It's life and death. And I'm not even anti-war. You know, I hear a lot of libertarians say that. You know, I'm anti-war. By the way, it's funny. Where my politics lie, I would be thrown in with the libertarians right now. I'm not a libertarian. I don't identify as one because I'm what the conservatives were in 1955. That's how far left everyone has shifted. There are people who say they're libertarians right now. Stick, sex, and hammer. Who support tariffs. Who support government involvement in companies. Government limiting monopolies. Which, by the way, doesn't help anybody. You know who it helps? The monopoly, actually. This is like, oh, well. Because it always ends up getting corrupted. The fact of the matter is that the Overton window has shifted so far left that I'm considered to be on par with the ANCAPs almost. And I'm not an ANCAP. And I'm not one of these no government guys. So just know that. So stop. Next time you want to make a video, make a YouTube video about oh, the hypocrisy of the left. You want to talk about AOC yet again because you can't shut up about the woman? She's not that important. Don't give her more publicity. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Because here's the thing. She may or may not get reelected. She's not that important. Her herself. She's not going to become president. I guarantee you. But her ideas are going to influence people. She'll still get her ideas out there, even if she gets voted out next term, which looks like it. So just know that, guys. You're not helping anybody by pointing out this stuff. Can you believe? Yes, I can.